Good evening from New York, I'm John Hayden. There is a particular kind of loneliness that only exists at night. Not the loneliness of empty rooms or silent phones, but the loneliness of a face lit blue in a dark room, eyes moving fast, jaw quietly tightening, heart rate climbing over something a stranger posted 3 time zones away. You know this feeling. You have felt it more times than you can count. The low hum of anxiety that settles in after 20 minutes of scrolling. The sudden flash of anger at a headline you didn't ask to see. The strange exhaustion that comes not from doing too much, but from feeling too much about things you cannot change and people you will never meet. Most of us have quietly accepted this as the cost of staying informed, of staying connected, of staying relevant in a world that never stops moving. But what if that feeling isn't the cost of the system? What if it is the entire point of it? Tonight we are going behind the blue light to ask the question nobody in Silicon Valley wants you to ask. Who is actually winning every time you lose your cool? Before we talk about algorithms or advertising revenue, we need to talk about your brain. Because the outrage trap doesn't begin on a screen, it begins in your biology. Blue light, the specific wavelength emitted by every smartphone, tablet, and laptop screen, suppresses melatonin production and holds your nervous system in a state of elevated alertness. In simple terms, the device in your hand is chemically preventing your brain from winding down. And a brain that cannot wind down is a brain that is reactive, impulsive, and significantly more vulnerable to emotional manipulation. Studies in cognitive neuroscience consistently show that sleep-deprived and overstimulated brains process threatening information faster and more intensely than neutral information. In other words, the blue light primes you for outrage before the content even loads. This is not a coincidence. The devices were designed to be used at night. The aesthetic was built for the dark, and a mind kept in permanent low-level stress is a mind that is far easier to direct, to inflame, and to monetize. Your biology is not a glitch in their system. It is the foundation of it. Now let us talk about the machine built on top of that foundation. Social media platforms do not show you what is true, what is important, or what is good for you. They show you what keeps you on the screen longest. And the data on this is not subtle. Content that triggers outrage generates 5 times more engagement than content that triggers joy or curiosity. 5 times. For an algorithm, that number is not a warning, it is a directive. Every A/B test, every engagement scientist, every product meeting in every glass-walled office in San Francisco has arrived at the same conclusion. Anger is the most efficient fuel for human attention. When you are happy, you might put the phone down. When you are curious, you might pause and think. But when you are angry, you stay. You comment. You argue. You share. You refresh. You are caught in a loop that the platform did not stumble into by accident. It was engineered, tested, refined, and scaled to billions of users across every language, culture, and continent on Earth. The blue light aesthetic you see on your feed, the dramatic contrast, the high emotion thumbnails, the urgent red banners, is not a design choice. It is a psychological architecture. And it was built specifically around the shape of your vulnerability. And here is what that architecture is costing us. Not in abstract societal terms, but in the quiet, daily, deeply personal losses that never make the news. Think about the last time you sat at a table with people you love and felt genuinely present, genuinely unhurried, genuinely there. Now think about how many times in the past week you were physically in a room with someone and mentally inside your phone. The outrage trap does not just steal your time, it steals your presence. It takes the emotional bandwidth you were built to spend on the people directly in front of you, and it redirects it towards strangers, conflicts, and crises that the algorithm selected specifically because they would provoke you. Families are having fewer real conversations and more parallel scroll sessions. Children are building their understanding of the world through feeds curated to maximize their emotional reactivity before they are old enough to recognize what is happening. Friendships are fracturing along political lines that were not drawn by conviction, but by what an algorithm decided each person should be angry about. The blue light is not just in the room, it is in the relationship. If you are still with me right now, and I hope you are, I want to ask you something honest. When was the last time something you saw online left you feeling genuinely calm, genuinely connected to another human being, genuinely like the world was something other than a series of emergencies designed to keep your blood pressure elevated? Think about it. And if you have an answer, put it in the comments. Not a reaction, not an argument, just a memory of a moment online that felt actually human. Because I believe those moments still exist. And I think finding them again starts with remembering they were possible. Here is the verdict, and it is one the platforms will never deliver themselves. The outrage is not a side effect of social media, it is the product. Polarization is not a bug they are working to fix in the next software update, it is the business model they are working to protect in the next earnings call. Every minute you spend in a rage cycle is a minute of inventory being sold to an advertiser who does not know your name and does not need to. Every fractured community, every radicalized teenager, every dinner table where nobody is talking because everyone is scrolling, these are not failures of the system. They are proof that the system is working exactly as designed. The numbers are staggering. Meta alone generated over $100 billion in advertising revenue in a single year. That revenue was built on engagement. That engagement was built on outrage. And that outrage was built on you, on your attention, your emotion, your unguarded moments in dark rooms illuminated by blue light. You are not the customer. You have never been the customer. You are what is being sold. But here's what the architects of that system have never fully accounted for. The most dangerous moment for any machine built on manipulation is the moment the people inside it begin to see the walls. And something is shifting. The conversation you are part of right now, the growing awareness that the anger in your chest has a source, that the division in your country has an engineer, that the blue light in your hand is not a neutral tool, but a designed experience. That awareness is the beginning of something they cannot algorithmically suppress. You do not have to leave the internet. You do not have to throw your phone into the ocean. But you can decide deliberately and daily that your attention is the most valuable thing you own. That your peace is not a luxury, it is a right. And that every moment you spend on your own terms, present in your own life, is a moment the machine does not get. The outrage trap only works if you don't know it's there. Now you do. And that changes everything. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. A really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.